Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm the Crocheteer and today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet a flower. Here is the flower I will be showing you how to crochet, and it's a very simple and easy pattern and should probably take about 10 minutes, and once you've made a few of them it'll only get quicker. It's a nice easy pattern that any beginner can do, and it's also 3D, which is very nice. So without further ado, let's get to the desk and start crocheting. For this flower you are going to need red wool or any colour of your choice, a 3.5mm crochet hook, and a pair of scissors. We're going to start off by tying a slip knot. We will put that onto our crochet hook, and we are going to chain 2. Now we are going to do 6 single crochets into the first chain. These single crochets will wrap around the chain to create a circle. And there we have the 6 single crochets. Now we are going to do an increase stitch in each of the single crochets. So we will single crochet into the first stitch and then increase into it again, which is an increase stitch because we've turned that one single crochet into 2. So we're going to repeat that 5 more times. And now you should have 12 stitches going around. So now we are going to start to make the petals. You're going to do a slip stitch into the next single crochet. Now you're going to chain 4. And now we're going to slip stitch into the next single crochet stitch. That makes a little loop, which we will use later to create the full petal. So now we're going to repeat that. We're going to slip stitch into the next single crochet. We're going to chain 4. And slip stitch into the next single crochet. And we're going to slip stitch into the next single crochet, chain 4, and then slip stitch into the next single crochet again. And we now have 3 loops, which will turn into 3 petals. So now we single crochet. So now we do a slip stitch again, and 4 chains, and then a slip stitch into the next single crochet, going to slip stitch, do 4 chains and then slip stitch into the next single crochet stitch, and finally we're going to do a slip stitch, we're going to do 4 chains and slip stitch into the last stitch. So now we're going to start on making the actual petal. We're going to slip stitch back into the same single crochet we slip stitched into on the last row. So this is at the base of the chains of the last loop, the first loop we made in fact. Now we're going to do 1 chain. This chain will be totally outside of the flower, and we're going to do 8 single crochets into the first loop. So we're simply going to put our hook inside the loop. We don't go through any stitches, we're just going through the loop itself and doing 8 single crochets. We're now going to slip stitch back into the flower body itself. So there we have the first full petal. We're now going to repeat this for the rest of the petals. So we're going to slip stitch back into where the chains originated from the last row. Going to do 1 chain and 8 single crochets into the loop. And now we're going to slip stitch back into the body where the chain goes into the body. We're going to repeat this process all the way round into each of the loops. If you want to see how to do it, go back, there'll be a timestamp and you can just go back to see for this petal, and then you can repeat that for the rest of the petals. And now all of the petals for the flower are finished, and we're simply going to cut the wool. You don't have to cut it too long. Going to pull the wool through, pull it tight, and we will leave it as a strand for the moment because it may become handy later on when it comes to the sewing. So now we're going to start on the inside of the flower, this small inside bit here. You can use a different colour for the inside of the flower if you want to, but I'm going to continue using the red. For the smaller part of the flower, we're going to start it the same as the larger part. We're going to do 2 chains and 6 single crochets into the first chain. Now we've created another circle. So now we're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet that we did. We're now going to make some very small petals. So we're going to do 5 chains and we're going to slip stitch back into the single crochet that we slip stitched in the first place. So we're going to slip stitch back into where the chain started. That gives us a little loop, which is the full petal. We're now going to slip stitch into the next single crochet and do 5 more chains. And we're going to slip stitch back into where the chain started. We're now going to slip stitch into the next single crochet stitch and do 5 chains. And we're going to slip stitch back into where the chain started. Hopefully you get the idea, and you can repeat that for the last 3 stitches. And there we have the 6 petals complete. So this could just be a small flower in itself, but we are now going to sew this onto the large main flower. We're going to make sure we have a lot of string left over. So if you cut it with a nice good length of string, we're going to use that to sew the flower onto the main body. So I'm just going to pull the wool through the last stitch to cast off, pull it tight. And now I'm going to pull it through towards the edge of the middle circle. You can see there is a middle circle here. I'm going to pull it through, not through the middle, but through the edge. Now, when it comes to sewing, you can use your own technique. I have the main body here, and you can sew this on however you wish. What I'm going to do is match the edge of this circle to the edge of the main body's circle, which means I pulled it through towards the edge of this circle. So I'm going to go to the edge of the main body's circle, put my hook in so it's next to the edge, and pull the wool through. So now we're going to pull the wool in and out around the main body of the flower, just sewing it in. You can do this how you like. If you choose to go through the middle, then you can do that. And now the flower is sewn up all nicely, so all we have to do is cut the wool and pull it in and around the stitches in the body to get rid of it, and this flower is complete. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, please like and subscribe, and comment down below if there's anything else you would like to see me make. Thanks for watching.